Good evening, Winnie. How are you?
I'm well, Julianne. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy we could make this time to connect together.
I know, me too. I know because we just had an interview together, and I said if we could get back together again and have another one, this would be great. So I'm glad you brought me on today. I really
Yes. So it's actually funny how we met through using Upwork. Isn't that
Yeah,
hilarious?
yes, it is. We did. We connected through another platform for work when I was
Yes.
looking for people to come to the site and do teaching and hosting. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So it
hmm
was definitely meant to be because after we connected on there, we're just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do lots of different things together now.
We sure did. We sure did. We sure did.
Yes.
Yes.
So one thing I really enjoyed talking with you when we first met was you sharing about your new journey of to spiritual awakening. So if you could share with us what spiritual awakening is to you and just your journey from where you were to where you are now and also like to where you're going and what you're bringing into form.
Sure. So my spiritual journey actually it came along pretty quickly. It has not been even more than a year basically, and I had to get brought up to speed. What had happened was my brother-in-law, who was my dear brother, who I loved so much, he passed away in November of last year, and I'm sorry, September of last year, and when it happened, it took me for quite a bit of a loop. I wasn't prepared. It was not something that we were. No one's really prepared for death, but it was something that happened quickly. We were talking to him one day, and the next week he was, on life support and passing. So everything moved pretty quickly. After he passed, um, I started feeling some different changes going through my body, some numbness. And I kind of thought that that was just me going through mourning because he had passed away. So it lasted for quite some time. I was kind of out of it for a while, just kind of loopy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not with the program to life. I just couldn't comprehend, but I was still here. But I kind of felt like I was in two different places. Um, he ended up coming to me in a dream that I had, just kind of giving me that closure that I needed. And everything was so vivid. I could remember just him coming through to me and speaking to me. And because he liked gold Cadillac emblems, and everything around him was gold. And it was like the brightest gold that you could ever, the brightest colors, the most vivid 4K, 8K colors that you could actually see in my vision of him, and they were all around him, and he was telling me that he was going to be okay, that
Aw.
he was you know he did not want to go. He mentioned that he knew that he was sick, but that he did not want to go, and he just let me know to tell everyone that he loved them. And this is all coming to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I've always had um, never had anyone talk to me that had passed over. I had never
Mm-hmm.
been in touch with that side of myself. But I've always, since I was a kid, had feelings about things that were transitioning at some point that were just going to happen. I just had this strong urge. And so after he came to me and he left, I told my husband about it. And, I told his wife about it, and we cried and boohooed. And then I kind of went on. So, anyway, days later, I just woke up and I felt like I had died.
Wow.
I felt, I felt like everything that I was coming across, I bumped into a wall and it felt weird to me. I walked down the stairs and I looked at my children. I knew they were my children, but something felt off. And so I started ironing their clothes to get ready for work. And I looked outside and I saw a leaf. And I was like, what is that doing here? And all of a sudden it dawned on me. So I start walking upstairs and I see my marriage picture of me and my husband. And I said to myself, did I die? Because I just felt a disconnection. From then on, I started doing research to figure out what it was that I was going through, what had just happened to me, because I felt like the person that I was no longer. No matter what had happened, I was in a different headspace. I immediately felt like I had a different name. My name changed. My whole aura, everything about me changed. I could no longer look at myself as the person I was. I couldn't even check out Facebook.
Yes.
I couldn't even go back. I still haven't went back to that. I just felt like I'm in this physical body, but I don't know I'm not quite connected with who I was anymore.
Yes.
Doing the research, I ended up finding this word called spiritual awakening, which was what I felt like I was changing into, just because I started receiving messages, from the divine, and just telling me what I needed to do, which kind of geared me towards Connect Starr through messages and through intuition, and telling me, this is what we want for you to do. This is what you must do, and to try to help, to bring a community together. So that's how Connect Starr started. So spiritual awakening to me is just when you come into a space where you kind of like rebirth spiritually, and you become one with your higher self, and you start learning who you are over again, and you start seeing things in a different light, and you really are in tune with love. You are really in tune with who you are as a person and what you want to do for other people. So that was my awakening.
Amazing. It's so cool and scary all at the same time.
It's still cool and scary all at the same time, because every day is something new.
Yeah, because like I often try to say to people, like, it's almost like we know too much. Like when you start awakening, like you almost know too much. Like you said, you just can't do Facebook. Like there's just certain things you can and can't do anymore. There's certain people you can be around or you can't. And like everything just starts getting so different, like in a good way, because you're becoming more yourself. But then it's also like everyone else is just functioning at such a different level. Like the exhaustion and the 9 to 5 and fitting in the rules and the systems that are put forth. And that's all they know. And they think that that is dead set the way things need to be. And it's like, but I can't even do that, even if I tried.
Me either. It's like, you can't go back to that person. I can never be the same again, because
never.
Just so much. It's like, I've been lied to.
Yes.
All my life. And so how do you go from there? Because when you still have a family, children who have already been raised into what we thought we knew.
Yes.
So that's kind of, it's a crazy thing. And then you start automatically knowing stuff. It's like, it's almost like it's always been there, and you feel like, oh, I knew that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's real. Yeah.
And for Connect Starr, how did you decide on that name?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Because you know before you know, like you just know.
I know before you know. Yeah, I was thinking about
what you're just saying. Like you're like, you just know stuff.
Connect Starr came to me from a division, because what had happened was when I started creating the site, it was actually called awake.love.
Oh.
It was called Awake because the vision was saying it needs to be for the awakens. And I said, well, what can I use? What can I use? I know I'm feeling this strong feeling of love. So it has to be awake.love. And then the community will be, how do I know this name? Connect Starr. I don't know. I just know Connect Starr was the name. So anyway, creating and going on and moving forward at a later time, it ended up just being Connect Starr, because the main focus was the platform, because we need to come together and connect. So yeah, that's exactly how Connect Starr came about through a vision. It was sent to me. That was the name.
And I love it because to me, like I'm into like the Pleiadians and Lemurians and
Yes.
like the star people. So
Yes.
really to think, if you come from these
The
stars,
starship.
we're just connecting
Yes.
with stars. Like,
That's where we are. And so as I was started meeting people like yourself, even through Upwork, I met someone else who said, Connect Starr is a starship, she said. And she says,
a starship.
yes. And she said, and I said, that's why I'm the captain. I said, and that's why Captain Winny came about. because she said that Connect Starr was a starship. So now, even through my visions and through meditations, I see us all on a Connect Starr ship, and it's
I'm putting on my seatbelt right now.
Yes.
I'm
and
on the ship.
Everybody on the crew has their things that they're doing, and we all work together, and that's how I envision us, through Connect Starr on the starship. Yeah.
So for the platform, for anyone that hasn't seen the website, what is on there? Is it geared more towards people who are newly awakening? Is it more for people who are like further on their journey? Is it for both? What can people expect when they go to the website?
Yeah, it's an open platform. It's basically for people who are awakened and people who are starting on the journey of an awakening, or for people who don't have an awakening but just want to come to get awareness or enlightenment. Because it's a lot of information on there. It's not just about going through an awakening. These are just experiences from different people. Most of the time, it's a lot of my experiences because I am awakened. But if you are coming to the site, you can give your information and help other people along their journeys. People who are scared, don't know what to do, or people who already know so much and want to be more teachers and hosts, and help. So it's for everybody, actually.
And if someone wants to offer, say, like a class or an article, is there a form or the membership sign up? Like there's different levels, or how does that work?
Okay, so it's free to join. It is a free membership, and through the site, I don't look for any monies from anyone except for the fact that it's a certain level of advertising.
Okay.
I will promote what your services are, because a lot of people are captains. A lot of people are working and doing their own journeys work. And so when they come to the platform, it's basically like a community, just for people to get awareness of what everyone is doing. Multiple people that are healers and people who are gurus and, people who are just professionals that do psychics and all types of different work, light workers. So there is no specific level that you have to be on. You can come to the site. We do actually pay. It depends on the video, but we do actually pay for people to come and do some of the hosting on there, like what you've done. We do have paid hosts, and we love that. But we do want more people to come to the site and give it awareness, because it is a community, and it's, everyone doesn't really want to always go to Facebook, and there's people in the world, all over the universe and the world, that want to find a home. And that's what we want to provide for them, just a space where they can find other people that they can connect with, that will not judge them, that will understand who they are, and that they can be free, free will, and feel comfortable being themselves. I talk to people all the time who come to me and say, I know I can talk to you, or I want to talk to you, and they tell me things, and some things I don't know about. I'm not a guru or anything, but I'm there for anyone who needs me.
Yes.
Absolutely anyone. And I want to provide for everyone and give them a space to call home, and a platform for them to go to express themselves, share their work and their journeys.
And that's something that I really felt was lacking. Like when I was starting my journey years ago, was like, who do I ask questions to? Where do I read like actually trusted information? Like I didn't know who to talk to or where to look for things or next steps or like what I was feeling and
Yeah.
going through what those things were. So I just think the platform's so great because there needs to be more of that available information. It's like education, but also like true heart feels of like you're reading something. It's like, oh my God, yes, me too. Or, oh, there's that course I kind of been looking for. Like just really finding what's missing, that missing link.
Yeah, yeah, because even with me, when I started my awakening, Julianne, I was looking all over. There's so much information out there, but you have to go to 20 different places to find this and what are the angel numbers and
Yes.
what is Reiki and who's a great yoga instructor like you. You have to go to so many different avenues to try to find things, and the community is to support all of that in one place so people don't have to go all over and look and get confused because we don't really know what truthful information is out there. For when people don't know, they can go to just anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's a place for them to come and know that we provide truthful information, that we want to share love, true love, and we want to help them. That's it. We're not looking for nothing in return. So
Incredible. And that's hard to find too as a beginner, like something that's free. It's like, what?
I know you said that before, and it's like, yeah, it's free. I don't want anything. I'm doing mission work, and this is what I was asked to do. I'm on assignment, and I'm gonna do what I was asked to do. This is what I
Yeah, I'm showing up.
I had to do what I was asked to do. Um, so I don't look for anything in return. No, not at all. Just want to build the platform and help people.
And
That's
you've
it.
also since branched out, you're doing a podcast too. So tell
Yeah.
us about that.
Yeah, well, the podcast is the Spiritual Talk with Winnie, and it's basically just like how me and you are talking, just about spiritual things, different journeys, different topics, that I want to get into more deeper topics, but I
Hmm.
have to get people that really want to come in and have more interviews with us. That want to talk more about that, but it's just been so busy. It's so much going on all at once.
Yes. And you're only one person. That's what I find. I'm like, I have a bajillion ideas. And then I'm like, who's going to implement them all? Because there's just me and then there's so many hours in the day. But my brain thinks like light language, like the time doesn't exist. But here
That's
on
right.
this plane, we have this time and day and light. Like,
That's right. I don't feel like that either. But you know what? At the same time, we have to have that balance. We
yeah.
have to still keep that balance because while our higher selves are like, we want to go, 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 our physical selves is not ready for that. And therefore, we
No.
get down. We get sick. We get tired. So we have to find that balance.
What do you find has also changed the most? Like, do you find your eating is different? Do you find like the way you think about things are just super different? The way you show up to the world each day, the way you interact with people? Like, what are some things you find the most significantly different?
That is a great, great question, Julie. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm getting messages too to ask you here.
um, my thinking is totally different, actually. Well, what it is that I still my physical self, the strength of me, still stays with me. So I'm able to multitask. Still, I'm still
Mhm.
able to hold down a site, hold down a family. I'm still able to have these different jobs.
Mhm.
And but my thinking is totally different, Julianne. Like energies around me are so overwhelming. I can't even go into a grocery store.
I was having this talk the other day. My friend sent me a meme, and it was like empath light workers trying to go into Walmart, and we're wearing astronaut suits. And we're like trying to get in and like stay protected in the covering, and then like trying to get out.
that is,
And And I'm like,
That
it's
is
so
so
true. I need an astronaut suit.
me too. Me too. And my husband, thank God that my husband, um, I thought I was scared to tell him, Julianne, that I was awakened in the beginning because I didn't know how he was going to
That was
act.
my next question.
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe I'm reading you. I don't know.
Yes. We're in sync, so.
but so I'll wait for you to ask me that before I get into it. But yeah, things have been different. My thought process is different. I'm seeing different. I'm just seeing things different. Loving things more, nature more, looking at the trees more that I didn't look at in the past. Like, wow, I really love those trees, you know, and just looking at people more. A lot of things that would bother me no longer are present in my life. I learned what material things that just don't matter. Things don't matter, you know. So yeah, my thought process has definitely changed.
Yes. So then my next question was like, how did you tell your family and what did they say or what have they even noticed in this journey? Like, are they embracing it? Are they like, holy, this is different? Like, what are they feeling?
Well, you know what? When I first came to the awakening, I was having trouble being around people, like I was saying, because I wasn't understanding how the energies work, and I'm still kind of getting used to that, you know. So
Yes.
I couldn't even be in the space with them. So when they first saw me, I think I was kind of zombied out because I was like, huh, 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 because I was feeling energies, good and bad, not just from my family, but from other people that was in the room, and I just really wasn't understanding it. So they kind of thought, is she sick? Did something
Mm-hmm.
happen to her when she went through this, the trauma with her brother passing? Did she kind of go crazy? You know what I mean? They kind of had that thought of me. And I said to them, I have to make sure my husband understands because I don't want them calling the cuckoo house and having someone come out of here, you know, with, you know,
Yeah.
up and take me and think that I need to go to a hospital. So as long as my husband knows me and understands me, then he won't allow it, you know?
Perfect. He's got
So
your back.
yes, he's got my back. So when I told him, I was so afraid to tell him, but he held my hand through it, and it was almost like he says, "Yeah, I understand. I always kind of felt that life was kind of different. You know what I mean? He always kind of was out of the box thinker anyway. You know?
Okay, good.
Yeah. So he's accepted it. He knows me, and I'm comfortable to say things like, you know what, when I got here, or I'll say stuff like, you know, I'll just say things like from my awakening that he'll relate to, you know, and he'll just be like, oh, okay,
Beautiful.
this is my wife. That's just her. She's
Yeah.
fine. So,
That's beautiful though for your partnership.
yes, I'm so grateful and thankful for him, and he's still learning a lot from me and starting over with me. And sometimes he's like, I miss my wife, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I can't sit down and watch reality shows no more. I don't. That's not of me. It's
Yes.
I can't watch that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But my family's they are okay now. They really are. They are getting used to
Good.
me. They're accepting that this is who I am, and they go on, you know. So yeah.
For anyone that is new to awakening, what would be like your top three like tips or words of wisdom that you're like, I wish someone told me this, so I just want you to know this.
You should have sent me this in the email. So
But it's better when you just wing it because then it just, comes out. The
I
harder you
know.
think, sometimes, the worse it is.
Okay, because I have to think about this one.
It could just be one thing too instead of three.
Okay. Because I'm still learning. I'm still going through it myself. So you're asking me what
Like,
would I
what are some things that you wish you kind of would have known? Like, maybe one is it's okay that you're going to feel weird and it's going to be
energy?
scary,
That
but it'll be okay. Like, that could be one.
I wish, I really wish that someone could have said to me, "You're gonna start feeling energies, and this is what you do," you know, to
Uh-huh.
to to deal with it, because I still don't know the difference, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I learn how to cope with it. Um, I also wish that they could have someone that I would have known how to be with my family because I'm different. I feel odd.
Mm-hmm.
Am I normal or are they normal? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Who's the normal one here? So that I wish I would have known before, like how to fit in,
Mm-hmm.
and go back to it, because now it's so like I'm so like my wall is up, because I'm trying to transition back into the physical, you know what I mean? Watching certain things and being around certain things that I'm not used to. It's like, am I too serious or,
Mm-hmm.
not?
And really, you're kind of almost like the lighthouse for all of them, just to be like, here's a different way of living and being, and then get a feeling for it. So it is a lot to take on when
It
you're
is.
like that beacon.
Yeah. Like, do you feel weird? I know you're the one asking me questions, but
No, you can ask me questions too, because it's just, I just call these conscious conversations. So we're just having conversations. Like,
yeah. Do
I
you feel
definitely
weird?
do find it weird in the sense of like, I don't want to talk about drama,
Yeah.
and so many people like that's what they want to talk about. Or I find it hard, like, if I see someone who's like sick and then wanting to eat 10 chocolate bars and just they're like, I'll just go down with the ship. And I'm like, but like when you want to try to like drink a juice or like, like when you want to try and feel different, but to them, like they don't even know that you could feel different. They just think like, well, this is just how I feel. And I'm
Right.
just going to keep doing what I'm doing and almost like get into a deeper, darker hole of more negativity. So that I do find weird and hard. And I definitely have had to navigate around like, how long do I stay in certain conversations, almost planning ahead with like, okay, this person could stay at our house for a night, but like one night's good. Like,
You have to go.
because you're like exhausted or you're always like almost like thinking ahead and trying to
Yeah.
keep the peace. Like it is very different. So like being really more conscious about what your boundaries are,
Yes.
and even being more strict with like who you are and how you feel, because other people may not feel that way. Or like you said, sometimes things. So I'll know things before they happen. And then I'm like annoyed. Then I'm like, why doesn't anyone else see this or feel this?
Yeah,
Like,
me
what do
too.
you mean? Like, and they're like waiting for like the 3D, like the physical proof. And I'm
Yes.
just like, oh no, I already know. Like, I'm moving on. Like, I don't need. So
Yeah.
that I do find hard at times. Like, there's like conflict almost there, but then it's almost like maybe you trust your knowing even more. And
You,
sometimes it feels really alone. That I
it does.
have a hard time with sometimes, is like that alone kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But then when you're like in your zone and talking to people like this or doing yoga or doing things that feel good, you're like, oh, like it's not even alone because you're so connected to
You are.
spirit
That's
that,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So again, then there's that balance of the in and the out and the connecting
Yes.
and alignment. And yeah.
Yes. That was actually going to be my third, that I was going to say. I wish I would have known how to keep balance,
Mm-hmm.
because I still struggle with that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I still struggle with it a lot. And like, I want to do a yoga session with you. I want you to,
Well,
I
that'd be
want,
amazing.
yeah, I want you to show me more, because I haven't stressed out into that yet. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of meditation, but I would love to be introduced into that section of balance as well, so that, because I think it would help me out quite a bit.
It
So
will for sure. Cause I find it helps with like the visioning. I find
yeah.
it helps with like letting go. It helps with being more present. It helps with even just like moving energy. So like
Mm-hmm.
you may just like sometimes I'll show up to my yoga mat and I'm just like, oh my God, life. And then I'm like going through it. And then at the end, I'm just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, everything's perfect in the trees and the land and the grass and the birds. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess, actually, because
mm-hmm.
you get to feel that way. A lot of people don't get to feel that good. You know what I mean?
No. And that's the thing. Then when you go into that feeling of not feeling good, like it is work to get back to the feeling good. I think
Yes.
like there's two things. Like one thing is people think that this one thing I do will fix my life or it's going to make me feel good like every day. But it's like, no, you're always going to get into those vibes of not feeling good, but it's like having the tools to come back to the feeling
That's
good.
right.
So I think that's
That's
almost like the myth in the world
yes.
that people think. And then I also find it hard, like the expectations,
Hmm.
the expectation of like how much money you're supposed to make or how you're supposed to look or what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, I physically or energetically like can't have those expectations. I don't fit into that. So it's like finding your own normal, really.
You are absolutely right about that. It is. You are absolutely right. That's why I said there's things that just don't matter. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like the expectation, but it's supposed to. And it's like, but it doesn't. Like,
Yeah. And
no,
if more people knew that, it would make things so much easier. But
it
that's
would.
that we live in, this expectation that we're supposed to be someone, and then we try. I even wrote about that we try to be someone and we become robotic because we're trying to be someone that is not truly who we are. You
Mm-hmm.
have to start with loving yourself and knowing yourself and comfortable in your own skin. And this is the person that people see shines brighter than someone that you're emulating and trying to be that you're not. So
And I really liked the quote you shared the other day. It was like, if I let go a little, I'll be a little at peace. If I let go of a lot, I'll be a lot at peace. And if I let go completely, I'll be completely at peace. I'm like, ding ding. Like
yeah, I saw you wrote that. Love it.
I used it as my theme in my yoga class.
Did you?
And all my students loved it because they were like, oh, like that's basically the answer for everything. Like,
It is, but we all have to work at that. Like you say, it's a struggle
yes.
every single day. Just because we're in this triangle, this is what it is, and you have to try to come out of the box a little bit, and be the one that stands out, not be going left when everybody's going left. Go right, go a different direction.
Because eventually other people will go right.
They sure will. They will
Yeah.
follow. Your group will follow, and everyone else will be going left, and you'll be going right.
Yeah, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Why are those people going left?" Like
Yeah,
that'll be the new weird. Like,
that's
yeah.
right. That's right.
hmm
Yeah, I can go on and on about that, but I know we don't have a lot of time. But yeah, that's a big problem now.
And your story is so inspiring, because you've had to implement as well as go through a lot of change all in like a fairly short period of time. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
inspiring for people who are even just like, maybe I don't like my job and I should do what I want to do. And it's like, well, if you just do it, like stuff will work out. Like, like just going towards that change, it kind of just all comes together. So it's just an inspiring story to show how much can really happen in what is a small period of time.
Yeah, a lot definitely can happen, and all you have to do is let go. That
Mm-hmm.
complete let go, and just let it happen for you. Whatever's going to happen, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But once you let go, you do become at that full peace, and then whatever happens, you're able to deal with it consciously, in a more clear-headed way, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll be more acceptance of it. So yeah, I quit my job. I didn't really. I got the numbers that I needed to, and
Perfect.
I'm free will. Just going along with the show now, but I'm working towards something. I'm working towards helping other people. That's my passion. That's my life. And I would never, ever, ever go back to who I used to be. This is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
For the
Where can people find you? Like, what's your website? Where's your podcast? Where can people find all the good things?
Okay, So you certainly can meet us and meet me as well as many, many other members on connectstarr.com, which is with two R's. So it's connectstarr.com. We do also have a podcast. It's actually the Podbean.
Oh,
BEA.
cute.
Yeah, Podbean. And you can look us up there. I'll put that link in the for you. I'll send you the information for the link. Otherwise, they can do a search for Connect Starr. We also have a SoundCloud. We have YouTube, where we have quite a few videos that others have posted on spiritual topics, and it's going to be many more to come. So you can visit us there. You can also visit us on Twitter and Facebook. And let's see. So yeah, let me see. My Facebook is facebook.com/Connect Starr. And Twitter is at Connect_Starr. So.
Perfect. And I will include all those in the show notes as well within the podcast so people can find it too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Winnie, for your time and talking with me. I just always feel so lit up after we talk. So thank you.
Me too. You are refreshing. I say that to you all the time. So now I'm smiling ear to ear, and I can have a really great night because you gave good energy to me.
Yeah, I feel the same. I'm like, my face was smiling a lot, and it's going to keep smiling like this.
Yeah, and we need that. We need that because laughter is good. It's a medicine, I think, and it heals you. It heals your body. So
it is. Well, have a great evening. Thank you.
You too. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon, okay?